yes, I think my initial years started with a lot of, it was very structured, it was very, I would think like most other homes, wake up in the morning, go to school, come back, friends, play downstairs. Both my sister and I were not into watching television or reading. For us it was more about going downstairs and playing, in the building with our friends, playing cricket, playing hide and seek. And then at some point in my life, I remember I started playing professional badminton, and I think that's when my life changed a little bit. Because then as an athlete, you have a routine and you have training. So my life started with 4:35 in the morning. You go for your first round of physical conditioning, come back. I didn't get permission from school to sort of go late. So I would finish my physical conditioning, come back home, quickly have a shower, have breakfast, run to school and just about make it in time for my first class. School would finish around 3:34, come back home, have a snack, again rush to the court because this was the on-court session. Throw in a massive session for a couple of hours, come back, do homework, have dinner, crash. That was literally my schedule from Monday to Friday. And Saturdays was, I think, catching up on homework, occasionally maybe going out as a family. We didn't really go out much. We hardly watch very many movies. And even eating out was sort of very streamlined, and maybe once in a week we'd maybe go out to a restaurant. And that was my life until I was about 16, and then board exams happened, and then I realized that this is not what I wanted to do professionally, and that modeling and acting was my calling, and here I am now.
For me, it was similar in many ways in terms of structure. It was very regimented, very structured, but I think there was one thing not similar, which was that as a young boy I hated sport. I was this fat little boy whose only talent in life was to miss physical education classes at school. I was in a boarding school and I hated it there, but I used to receive a letter from my father practically every day, and it had one thing in common, which was to play sport. Of course, I didn't listen to him, and I finally got out of boarding school and started going to a day school. That's where I got introduced to the sport of shooting. I was looking for just a pastime after school hours to do something, and a family friend introduced me to the sport of shooting, and I went to my first formal shooting session, and I loved it, because to be successful in that sport I had to stand still.
Right.
and not really run around too much, but that was of course the entry into the sport. To do well I had to also make my my weak point a strength. But that's just the way it started. It was a normal childhood. I saw my parents work very hard, so that was the environment I was brought up in, and then I used to look up to them, the amount of hard work they did in their professions. That was something I learned from them. As I said, I wasn't the most talented individual around. I was fat, I was uncoordinated, I was unathletic, I was not competitive at all, but definitely I had one little talent, which was to work hard and to persevere, and that's what I did. I used to go to school got over, came home, quickly had lunch, and off I went for my shooting session, and that lasted till 5-6 in the evening. Come home, do your homework and go to bed and repeat. So that was my childhood.